74. Seriously, that's how many ways people say you can make money online. And let's be honest, a number that big, it's not just an opportunity, it's kind of paralyzing. It feels less like a clear path and more like this giant wall of options staring you down, making you feel overwhelmed before you even take step one.
And that's the big question, isn't it? With 74 options, where do you even begin? I mean, do you just close your eyes and pick one? Go for what sounds easiest. How do you find your place in this huge online gold rush? Well, stick around because that's exactly what we're going to break down. Okay, so here's the game plan. Instead of just dumping all 74 ideas on you, which no thank you, we're going to use a framework. We've broken it all down into a few main paths or archetypes to help you figure out where you naturally fit. We'll dive into the path of the creator, the expert, and the merchant. We'll also touch on one more, the technician, and then we'll get to the most important part. What's your first step? So this isn't about memorizing a giant list. No, think of this more like a bit of self-discovery, right? We're using these paths to help you pinpoint what kind of online earner you are at your core based on what you actually love to do.
And honestly, this is the most important thing to get. The key isn't knowing all 74 ideas. It's finding that one path that just clicks for you. The one that lines up with what you're good at and what you're passionate about. You know, the one that doesn't even feel like work.
All right, first up, the path of the creator. This is for all of you makers out there. You know who you are. You're driven to create original stuff, build a community, and get your voice heard. So if you love writing, filming, designing, making music, yeah, this section is for you.
And what's cool about the creator path is just how broad it is. I mean, you could start something right now, today, with absolutely no money. Or you could go all in on a passion that needs some real investment. Let's check out two examples that show this range perfectly. Okay, let's start with blogging. The barrier to entry here, it's basically zero. If you love to write and you've got a niche you're obsessed with, I don't care if it's vintage cameras or vegan baking, you can get a blog up and running for free, like today. Then later, you can start making money with things like affiliate links. It's probably one of the easiest ways for any creator to get started.
Now, let's swing to the other side of the creator world, making music. Okay, yeah, the barrier here is higher. It takes a real investment in gear. But hey, that's a long-term asset, right? And the best part is, with platforms like Bandcamp, you can sell your music directly to your fans. You get to completely skip the old-school industry gatekeepers. It's a total game changer.
And if you're thinking, is there really money in this? Just look at this number. $1 billion. That's what the podcasting industry alone is pulling in. It's just proof that if you create stuff people love, the audience and, yeah, the money can be absolutely massive.
Okay, let's move on to our next path, the expert. This one is really cool. It's not about making something new. It's about taking the skills, the knowledge, the experience you already have and turning it into a service that helps people.
And being an expert can look really different depending on your style. You could be on the front lines, working one-on-one with people to help them crush their goals. Or you could be the wizard behind the curtain, digging up the kind of data and research that companies are dying to get their hands on.
Online tutoring is a perfect example. Seriously, zero startup cost, and the demand is just blowing up. If you know a subject inside and out, all you really need is a great profile on a tutoring site to start finding students.
And check out the growth behind this. We're talking a massive 16.1% growth every single year. This isn't some flash in the pan. It's a huge shift in how people learn. And you, the expert, are right in the middle of it all.
Now for a different flavor of expert work, think about being a researcher. If you've got a background in academics or a specific industry, companies will happily pay you to do the deep dive research they just don't have time for. It's perfect if you're the kind of expert who loves digging for that one golden nugget of information. And how much is that skill worth? Well, experienced freelance researchers can pull in $50 an hour, sometimes even more. In this kind of gig, your brain, that's the high-ticket item. Your ability to find and make sense of information is your most valuable asset.
All right, on to our third archetype, the merchant. If you get a thrill from finding cool products, building a brand, and jumping into the world of e-commerce, then this is totally your path. This is all about the art and the science of selling things online.
And just like the others, there's more than one way to be a merchant. You could run an entire business without ever touching a single product. Or you could get your hands dirty and build a brand around stuff you make yourself. So, dropshipping. It sounds complex, but it's actually pretty simple. Here's how it works. Step 1, a customer buys from your online store. Step 2, you send that order to your supplier. And step 3, the supplier ships it directly to the customer. See? You're the middleman, the marketer. And the absolute best part? You don't have to deal with any inventory. None.
Now, the other side of the merchant coin is selling homemade goods. This is for all you crafters and artisans. A place like Etsy is an awesome starting point to find your people, to find those first customers. But for a lot of folks, the real goal is to build their own online store. That way, you have total control over your brand, your products, your future. And that brings us to our last archetype, the one we hinted at earlier, the technician. This is for the builders, the coders, the tech wizards who love to solve problems. We're talking about the people who create the digital tools and assets that pretty much the entire online world runs on.
As a technician, you could focus on a fundamental skill that every single business needs, like web design. Or you could level up and specialize in something super cutting edge, like 3D rendering, putting you right on the bleeding edge of what's possible online.
And yeah, 3D rendering is definitely the high end of this path. Let's be real, it's not for the faint of heart. That difficulty rating is maxed out for a reason. You need serious skills and a powerful computer. But the demand? Oh, the demand. For this in web design, videos, gaming, it is just exploding.
And here's the reward for climbing that steep learning curve. $100 an hour. Or more. It's simple supply and demand, really. When you can do something that's super valuable and not many other people can, you get to write your own ticket.
So, there you have it. We've gone through the creator, the expert, the merchant, and the technician. We've talked about the what and the how, but now let's get to the heart of it all, the why. Why bother taking that first step? Why build something that's all yours?
You know, it all boils down to 2 words: control and ownership. When you build your own thing online, a store, a blog, whatever, you call the shots. You operate on your terms. You can reach people all over the world, build a brand that's 100% authentic to you, and create your own little corner of the internet. You're not just working for a paycheck. You're building an asset for you.
Look, we started with that crazy number, 74. But I hope you see now that you don't need 74 choices. You just need one path that feels right. You've seen the options: the creator, the expert, the merchant, the technician. So now the only real question left is the one only you can answer. What are you going to build?